Dope, 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 dope. Let's go. Just woke up from a nap, so I'm a bit groggy, but I'm sure over the course of the next minutes or so, I will be more awake. Currently waiting for my guest to join me. How is everyone doing? Real quick, I'll just give you some filler time and let everyone know that I'm currently in Austin, Texas. In the event that the person I am sharing up, my guest just showed up. Awesome. All right, so this might be. Well, I'm personally looking forward to this conversation. As hello,
Hey, what's going on, brother?
how's it going, bro?
Man, everything all right, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Man, first
So
off, man, I want to say thank you, man, for sitting down with me, man. I really appreciate that.
absolutely, I appreciate the fact that you reached out. This is something that I intend on doing at a very high level over the course of the next couple of years. Just taking time to meet with other natural bodybuilders and hear about them and their stories and understand, what got them into the sport and et cetera, et cetera. So,
Okay, okay.
yeah, I'm really grateful that you're able to kind of kick this off.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Hey, most definitely, man. So, like I
Yeah.
said, man, the opportunity is here. Like you said, well, I'm originally from Miami, Florida, so I just started there. Originally from Miami, Florida. Um, I've been around fitness since I was like 13. I always been into sports, playing football, ran track, so I always been into sports. But as far as bodybuilding, man, I just got into bodybuilding, man. I did my first competition back in, I want to say 2016, and that was just off of me meeting a friend. He seen my look and was like, "Hey, man, you ever competed?" I was like, "Nah, I just, just regular lifting, you know what I mean? Just like lifting." And I did my first competition, and I felt like I think that's when I caught the bug.
Mm.
But I think for me, it started to kind of transition over into not just wanting to be a bodybuilder, but using what we learn from bodybuilding to help others. You get what I'm saying? And I think that I'm gravitating towards that a lot more because I feel like the information that we have, it's like almost just it's so exclusive to bodybuilding, but it can be used in day-to-day life, man. Just helping families, families, friends, and different things, especially with families, because I definitely got a story to tell about, my upbringing as far as with, my sister fighting, obesity from
Mm.
when she was young. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of, I think that's where my shift is and why I go so hard into holding myself accountable when it comes to bodybuilding versus just trying to get on the stage.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that. And just to give you a little insight as to how I want to properly promote natural bodybuilding in a way that isn't currently done,
Hmm.
from my perspective, up into, I don't know, now, natural bodybuilding was kind of in the shadows
Hmm.
relative to the sport as a whole. Obviously, you've got the Mr. Olympia and the $600,000 cash prize and the Arnolds and the Samson Dowdas and all that stuff. And I've only been in the sport for like 2 years at this point.
Right.
Getting to speak with the enhanced side of the sport and getting an understanding as to why is it this way
Hmm.
that I didn't even know natural bodybuilding was a thing until 3 years
Right.
ago. And
Right.
understanding that from their
Hmm.
perspective, bodybuilding is all about the freak show.
Hmm.
Bodybuilding is all about the mass monsters and getting on stage and having people's jaw drops from like the
Hmm.
severity and the mass of these physiques. Whereas when
Yeah.
it comes to natural bodybuilding, there
Hmm.
is a level of discipline and
Hmm.
precision and
Hmm.
persistence and determination that is a bit more refined
Hmm.
than just being an enhanced bodybuilder and getting as huge as possible. And that's really, it's the mindset of a natural bodybuilder that is what's most attractive to me. And
Hmm.
that is the thing that I'm looking to put a better spotlight on outside of just having a really great physique. Because at the end of the day, and I'm sure you can attest to this at some level,
Hmm.
yeah, anyone can be a bodybuilder, but not everyone can have elite bodybuilding genetics.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I care less about the great physique because
Hmm.
That's kind of like a lottery.
Right.
Like you're born, and then it's like, okay, if you were born with great physique, then like you're a big deal. Fuck
Right.
that. Let's
Hmm.
focus on the mentality. Let's focus on what's required in order to bring out the most of that great physique, and that's
And I,
that's really what I'm looking for.
and you know, I'm glad you touched on that because I did want to ask you a question too, since you touched on that part about bodybuilding when it comes down to having elite genetics versus, somebody coming into bodybuilding with the same mindset, eating the same foods, training just as hard. Now, I know you mentioned something in your previous interview about the project that you were working on and men's physique as far as not being too much like kind of looked at as the I don't want to say premier bodybuilder from classic to bodybuilding, like the big mass monsters or whatnot. But I'm kind of confused a little bit about that because I feel like when it comes down to bodybuilding, a classic guy, a bodybuilder, a men's physique athlete, a figure athlete, a bikini athlete, we eat the same foods. We may not eat the same amounts, but we eat the same foods. That's natural. I'm talking natural. We eat the same foods. We train the same, we just have different builds. Now, when it comes down to men's physique, and I always had this thing, right? I'm so strong and I'm so, the drive is there. I mean, the dedication is there, but those elite genetics in certain areas may be missing, right? So maybe I wanted to have the mass, the big calves and the big legs because I felt like, this drive and this ambition and everything. Yeah, I could be a classic bodybuilder like that because of the focus,
Mhm.
right? But when you have someone that just naturally has that, but they don't have that same drive as somebody that's in men physique or want it the same type of way, but you get excluded out from saying you're a bodybuilder. I think that's where the line kind of gets drawn for me because it's like when you wake up, like for instance, what did you eat for breakfast this morning?
This morning, since I'm traveling, it's a bit restricted. But I had I had a sausage, egg, and cheese with English muffin and a protein smoothie.
Okay. So sausage, egg, and cheese with a protein smoothie. That sounds
It
amazing. It
was
sounds tasty, right?
it was actually really good.
So I know you said you wanted to get out of men's physique going into classic, right? Can you eat that way on prep all the way
No,
through?
no,
Right.
no. Cheese is
So
out.
so you
Sausage
woke
is
up
out.
this morning, and ate that sandwich. I mean, sure it was amazing. You know what I woke up this morning and ate?
What?
Prep.
Mm, mm.
So when you think about the mindset of being a bodybuilder, I feel like that's where the line should be drawn. How serious are you about showing up each and every day, holding yourself accountable? I don't think a look on stage should determine if you're a bodybuilder or not. What determines if you're a bodybuilder or not is if I can get up each and every day, not just to motivate myself, but inspire others to still think the same way as a bodybuilder, still holding yourself accountable, knowing that when you don't show up for yourself each and every day, you can lose out on that bodybuilding title because you're going to eventually turn into a lifestyle type of look,
Mm.
even with elite genetics. If you don't hold yourself accountable to the foods, the training, the cardio, waking up and knowing my body hurts today, so I have to go take care of it in order for me to make it to show, to show, to show. Like this season, I'm already getting ready for my third show right here at No Deer. Actually, I'm going to No Deer in North Carolina. But when we separate these bodybuilder classics to men's physique, we shouldn't do that. I don't think so. And I haven't been in the sport as far as me doing my first competition in 2016. I fell off because it was like, yeah, I loved it. I got second place. I did an NPC show, actually, my very first show, did an NPC show, but it wasn't something that I understood yet because becoming a bodybuilder, you have to have a mindset. It's not about just lifting weights, right? So I took a long break off, lost my grandmother in 2019. So that really took me for a whirlwind. I started using drugs, drinking, trying to mask the feelings of what was going on. And it was funny. One day I woke up, went to my back porch, and I was just bawling out, man, thinking about my grandmother, thinking about everything that I should be doing. And then that's when I heard those words from above, I control all negative thoughts. Because at that time I was saying, I can't do this no more. I can't do this shit no more. I was just really in my feelings, hurting because this woman raised me, and when you have a love for somebody and you lose them, it takes you to a place of depression. It takes you to a place of suicidal thoughts. These are things that bodybuilders go through on a daily when you have to look in that mirror and notice, well, I'm not a bodybuilder anymore, but I got to be okay with this reflection that's looking back at me, right? And that can cause your mind to shift. So when you think about these things, these different elements in life, it shapes you as a bodybuilder because that mindset from how disciplined we have to be on that diet to how much we have to block out from just all that outside noise to keep you focused and on your goals. Yeah, you're right. Everybody can't do it, but I feel like everybody that does do it at an elite level, at a pro level, should be recognized as such.
That was freaking beautiful.
Appreciate it, man. It
Yeah.
just we gonna have fun today, man. We gonna have some fun, man, because I feel like I heard everything that you were saying, and that's what gravitated me to you because I was just like, I'm just tired of the whole separation. If you're a bodybuilder, you're a bodybuilder. I'm built for men's physique. You may be built for both. You might be a hybrid athlete, a classic and a men's physique, maybe eventually a bodybuilder. But that doesn't change our drive and our focus.
Yeah, no, fuck. Yeah, and let this be for the record that I'm always open to changing, expanding, and adjusting my perspective based off of if a person brings me a compelling argument, then I'm more than willing to adapt to that perspective because I only feel incredibly strongly about a very small amount of things, and the things I feel very strongly about, it's very hard to move me from those feelings, but when it comes to the sport of bodybuilding, which I only really just started paying attention to 3 years ago,
Mhm.
because I kind of disqualified that sport entirely because I thought it was only enhanced people doing it, and I never had an interest in performance enhancing
Man,
drugs,
let me
right?
tell you, that's the first thing I thought too, because I never knew anything about natural bodybuilding, man. When I got into it, all you saw was those magazines and those people in front of them, and they look like, damn, man, I want to be that one day. I want to, be able to inspire people looking at this magazine. They see me all fit and everything. That when I used to just walk through the store and see that as a as somebody that's just into just fitness and being fit or just athletic, you
Mm-hmm.
gravitate towards those things. But what people don't see is the dark side of everything when it comes down to, hey, this is bodybuilding and this is what you should be doing. But that's not really the case. It just there's another level of bodybuilding called natural to where if you go down there, yeah, you may be a big thing or you may not be, but guess what? You can do it for as long as you want to do it. It doesn't
Decade.
take away, it doesn't hurt you in any shape or form. So when I found out about natural bodybuilding, I quickly gravitated towards, but I also knew that I had to learn how to be a bodybuilder. And that's where I'm at now. I just turned pro last year in April. And since then it's been so many different, scenarios that I can think about, especially that I wanted to touch on today with coaching, because I done had plenty of different coaches, and that's kind of frowned upon in this league where most would say you don't want to be a coach hopper or whatever a case may be, right? But from my perspective of it is, if I don't find a situation that fits me as an athlete, how would I ever gain knowledge outside of what this one person is teaching me? Because even me, I'm a coach, but I don't know everything. And that's why I love to learn every day, right? So if one of my clients come to me and say, hey, you're great, I love the information, but I want to go try this and that, I'm not going to frown upon them and say, hey, you know what, y'all, you shouldn't do that because it looks bad. No, because you might just find what you're looking for in a different type of way, and all those years again, your body ran down. You go back and think about, like, damn, what if I would have just shut out the noise, followed my gut,
Mm-hmm.
and found the situation that works for me. So I always tell athletes out there, if you listen enough, don't be afraid to try different things. Just because you may be with one great coach, you might go somewhere else and find information that might works for you a lot better. And like for instance, I just posted. I don't even feel like I'm on prep right now, and I'm 18 days out.
Wow.
I'm 18 days out. I'm harder, leaner. The hormones, the gut health. Shout out to Coach Hard Body, Team Hard Body. His name is James. This guy is really good when it comes down to nutrition and putting that at the forefront of the training because I've man, you can watch my stuff. I train very, very hard and I've done it for years. And this year has been such an amazing year as far as understanding my body and understanding what bodybuilding really is. And I'm looking forward to the future, man.
That's amazing. That's amazing, bro. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, no. What your story? It reminds me of. I do. I personally draw a lot of parallels between the movement that's occurring within natural bodybuilding and you'd be surprised, but jujitsu.
Mm.
Jitsu actually has a lot of they started doing it first before I actually discovered the sport of bodybuilding. I can't remember the guy's name is, but there are characters within the sport of jujitsu that you're kind of describing their similar journeys. So, for instance, you have this one guy named Gordon Ryan,
Okay.
who is considered the top athlete within that specific sport, and he'll hop on an interview downplaying another top athlete's decision to
Mm.
constantly hop from camp to camp.
Hmm.
From Gordon Ryan's perspective, oh my God, like that guy has no integrity, yada yada yada. But this guy, Gordon Ryan, he'll blast as much gear because gear is permissible in jujitsu. So this
Oh,
guy will
wow.
blast as much gear as he wants in order to optimize his ability as a jujitsu wrestler.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, but he's talking down about the person who is natural, yet is hopping from camp to camp. So I don't know.
You
That's
know
interesting.
what's funny about life? I'm gonna tell you, when you think about life and you take bodybuilding out of it, in order for you to grow, you have to know who you are and what's your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find that purpose in life and you go 100% at it, there's going to be so much noise from the outside, even if you're doing great, if you're doing bad, in between. It doesn't even matter. Who are you? What is your purpose? And what are you trying to do with bodybuilding, your life, with your family, your friends, the circle that you're in? Are you growing or are you allowing, like this project you're working on, for
Yeah.
example? The outside noise is going to be so loud, right? Like, oh man, you doing what? You embarking on what? But if I listen to that, it's going to cloud my judgment on the things that I know and what I believe. And when I look at you and when you talk about certain things that you believe, who am I or who are, to say that's not going to work or you biting off more than you can chew? Because really, their vision is not yours. If that's your vision, I've learned how to just block that stuff out because I can't get you to see what I see because it wasn't given to you. It was given to me from the higher power.
Yes.
So
Yes. And to build,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, and to build on top of that, I appreciate you saying that for one, and for two, what's important to me, yeah, like obviously projects and movements and telling a story is all very important to me. By the way, since we're on that topic, what was the interview that you were able to watch? Because
I just watched the one with you and Eric and Cali Muscle,
oh, cool, cool,
California,
cool.
Carolina Muscle. Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah, cool, cool,
So
cool.
that's the
Yeah,
one I caught because usually I tune into their podcast on Tuesday to let's talk about it or whatnot. So I end up fishing through YouTube or whatnot, and I end up seeing the interview. And I said, okay, let me see what this is all about.
yeah,
So I sat there. I felt like it was a great interview because of so much different. It was so not really complex, but it had a lot of different topics, and it was challenging in certain type of ways with certain questions. And when you were answering them or whatnot, I can regardless of what you said, but I can see the passion in what you were trying to do. So to me, whatever that is, it could be a passion in selling food or whatever the case may be. If you feel like this food is going to change the world and people are going to look at this and like, man, that's just mac and cheese. No, but it's something about this mac and cheese that I want the whole world to see. And I think everybody has to believe in themselves like that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I try to go so hard in this because it's such a big platform from unnatural to natural. It doesn't matter. You got people out here, we're waking up each and every day. Whoever chooses to shoot some shit or not, you're waking up every day, you're training hard, you're eating these foods, not being told to by choice. And whoever you inspire or whoever you make upset, hey, that's the byproduct of whatever you're doing for yourself. But when I got into this, I just wanted to have fun. He said I had a nice physique. I went in, did my thing. I was like, okay, I got some. I was skinny as hell, no muscle, no nothing, but I had the structure, the symmetry. So I
Hmm.
said, men's physique, perfect. How do I need to look? I'm working on that. Not one time did it cross my mind to be a classic guy or a bodybuilder because it's about what works for you. Let's make the best of that.
Yeah.
And when they say, like, oh, are you natural, unnatural? You tell me the benefit of that conversation, and I tell you it's pointless to me because who are we really? What are we really doing? Who are we really inspiring? Because if your conversation is not about that person that's obese or that family that just lost a guy that just lost his life because he couldn't talk to his parents or whatever the case, whatever he was going through, he couldn't express himself. And if we're talking about are you natty or not versus real life events, it doesn't interest me because this platform is meant to inspire at the end of the day. Because I'm looking out like, wow, I wish I can do that. Doesn't matter if they're natural or not. I wish I can do that. So if we're not really giving back in a way that's going to change this world, it doesn't interest me at all. Now, when I'm up there and I'm getting trophies or you could get a check, as soon as I got this third place, this is why I put this up here. It's a third place check, right? My first pro check, third place. Why did I put that on the wall? Because I want my kids to come in here and be inspired. Because when they see third place, second place, first place, they're going to know daddy worked for it. He work for it. Why do you think this elephant is back here or this lion is back here? Because this room is built for greatness. I want you to come in here and feel like you're a part of greatness. I want you to feel like, you know what, I'm a part of something. That's what bodybuilding is to me.
Mm. Mm. You're you got the passion, man. You want to talk about passion?
Oh man, hey, let me tell you something. This was my first book we wrote. It says I can't see that's my grandmother wings. I lost her in 2019. That says I can't, but a different perspective. I control all negative thoughts, the I, the C, the A, the N, the T. So
Mm.
we're always going to look at things differently, regardless of who's delivering the message. It's
Mhm.
how you're receiving it and what are you going to do with it? What kind of actions are you going to put behind it? Because if you have this big goal, whatever it is, you got to keep that fire, man. And that's what I gravitated towards. I could have did an interview with anybody. With my doggone sister. Who cares?
Right.
But when I see somebody with some type of passion about what they believe in, that's what I want to be around.
Amen.
That's the community. That's the networking team you want to be around because that's who's going to help you push it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for saying that. And to add on to that, I want to say two things to that. Firstly, when I started this project of promoting natural bodybuilding at a higher level,
Mhm.
I knew at the core of my being that all it would take in order for this to be successful was passion. I knew it.
Yes, sir.
The reason being is because passion is infectious. Passion provides unlimited sources of energy to the person that it captures.
Come on.
I could, yeah, yeah.
Come
So
on.
once you connect with your passion towards a thing, from my perspective, it's like a route to immortality in a way, because it will keep you youthful and it will keep you energetic throughout the entire time that you are connected to that passion.
You can't, it's a high that when I put, let me tell you something. I'm okay with telling people because sometimes, like I said, I lost my grandmother. When I was growing up, I did a lot of stuff, as a child. I didn't have a complete childhood, but because I was working, man, since I was like 6 and 7 years old. Never grew up with my dad. I met him at 22 years old. He died 2 weeks later. He was an alcoholic. So it was easy for me to gravitate towards the bottle when I was going through pain. You get what I'm saying? Not drinking because I wanted to get drunk, but trying to mask the pain that I was going through. And I say that because there's a lot of times where we try to mask certain things with, a bottle, weed, or whatnot. So just recently, I said, you know what? I'm gonna cleanse my body of everything that tried to destroy me. And I say that because I was tired of making excuses for myself. I was tired of, feeling a certain type of pain and masking it for just that little bit of time. And then that pain never went anywhere. And the only thing that made me feel better was my passion. When I started giving back and helping people and seeing the looks on their faces or the families that I was helping change, when I helped their mom and dad lose the weight, now they're like, wow, thank you for helping my dad or my mom. And that feeling that I got was the feeling that I always wanted to have,
Yeah.
which when you're trying to find peace, you have to find peace in your passion. That's why I agree with you. You find
Mm-hmm.
peace in your passion, not, oh man, who am I with or who am I in love with? No, you find peace in your passion and what you're doing that's making you happy and feeling fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you keep emptying your cup, you really don't have anything left,
Agreed.
not even for yourself.
Yeah.
So my main goal now is just to keep filling my cup and seeing how many people I can, change their lives by, presenting them that fight against obesity in our youth. Because a lot of times we get so caught up into all the tangible things, but there's 20% of our youth obese. That's
Yeah.
millions of children without the information. That's millions of parents that don't have the information to give down to their kids. So as a bodybuilder, if we have so much discipline and so much focus and so much, oh, I want to beat this person. Is he natty? Is he not? How about you go down the street and knock on your neighbor door and see if they're okay? And say, hey, I got some information for you that you can use. Leave it there, because by the time I get that book in everybody's hand, just like you say, you want that $1 million payout. I want to get to every single home that I can get to, from traveling to in my own state, going back home. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I'm gonna get that book in everybody's hand. You know why? Because when I'm dead and gone, I know I left something here as legacy. I can remember, yeah.
See, this is the you're telling the whole point right here, because within the industry, within the sport and the community, people are getting stuck on the perspective of like natty or not, and it's so contradictory to like what the real focus should be, which is health and wellness and longevity.
Come
Now,
on.
here's the problem. Here's the problem. It's like if we were to look at it from the perspective of a religion, right? A natural bodybuilder, they are the proper people to preach the gospel. Because if the gospel is health and wellness and longevity, then a natural bodybuilder would be the perfect person to be a representation of that gospel. As opposed to, an enhanced bodybuilder might go through the same exact steps of a natural, but by taking performance enhancing drugs to enhance their physiques in a cosmetic way,
Mm.
just simply cosmetic for the purpose of getting bigger and looking sharper and grainier. That contradicts the concept of prioritizing your health and wellness.
Well, I tell you
Which is
what
why,
thing.
Mhm.
One thing I tell you, and I'm gonna always say this right here.
Yes,
When it comes down to someone's life, right? Because we could look at it from 2 points, right? Two
yeah.
standpoints. These natural bodybuilders or enhanced bodybuilders, how are they taking care of their families?
Mhm.
If this is my true passion, and I'm speaking from both, because I like to speak from both
Yeah,
sides. I don't never speak from one side.
I think you
If
should.
this is my true passion and I love bodybuilding, and you know what? I got a family right here, and it's gonna change our life. And you know what? If I go do it naturally, yeah, I can win. I got great genetics. I can win some shows. But would this help me take care of my family? Would this payout help me in a way that it's helping me here? Because some people can look at it different ways. That check that they're receiving in big man, 600,000, a million, whatever the payout is. At that point, once my life changes, do I stay unnatural or do I come to natural?
Well, and that's the exact reason why I am in the process of organizing this promotion with a $1 million payout, because my intention is to create that opportunity for a natural bodybuilder to stay natural, understanding that there's glory and there's cash and there's prestige recognized within the natural community.
Because at some point, it gets to a point where you have natural bodybuilding and we're looking like, okay, the sacrifices that we're making on our body, you're getting ran down, but where is the benefit
Yeah,
of staying
yeah,
natural? So now, if they're paying me this and I know I got these freaky genetics and they're about to change my life, because look, my life's about to go off. I'm about to lose my house. I got situations outside of bodybuilding that I need to take care of.
absolutely.
We forgetting about those people, right? And we can't do that, because then the argument continues to happen.
Yeah,
Now we're not getting to the source of things, because I'm going to tell a natural or unnatural, hey, now that you got what you needed, are you trying to stay here for your family or are you just addicted to the drug?
right. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I done had addiction already. I was drinking, I was smoking, I was doing all that stuff. And at some point, it's a drug. Doesn't matter what kind of drug it is. Obesity, it's a drug. It's a food. It's a drug. So now let's get to the bottom of things for real. Are we just okay with just killing ourselves? Because really, you're going to take about 10 years, 20 years off your body
Yeah,
at some
yeah. Not
point, and then the people that you do love that you're trying to take care of, they just left behind with your remains. Or you can sit up here and say, you know what? I did this because you know what? I wanted to be on the front of that magazine. I wanted to go all out because I wanted to be the best. That doesn't change who I am as a person. I could still go out and change lives. I could still go out and talk to the people that want to be inspired. What I decided to do with my body doesn't change my perspective on my mission of trying to help you be a better person. Just because I decided to skip myself doesn't mean I'm not going to come to your front door and say, you know what? Here's some information that can save your family lives. Because
right.
what I'm doing on this platform is putting me on TVs, it's putting me on billboards so you can see me. But my mission is to get back to the gospel.
Yeah, and I think if that was an enhanced or natural goal, then I would say more power to them personally, regardless as to whether or not they're taking
You
steroids.
see how you see how that perspective changed in your mind really quickly because it's being presented to you.
Yeah,
But if you're just hearing the same things over, if you're natty or not natty, and I'm not advocating for just natty or no, I'm trying to let people know what is the main goal here. Are we trying to inspire, or are we just trying to talk bad on each other? Because by the time we meet on the stage, it's only can be one winner at the end of the day. I don't care how hard you go. I don't care what placing you give me. It only can be one winner. So does that mean when I sit on the stage and I'm looking better than the judges that's judging me, should I feel some type of way? No, because everything is by choice. But when we do this for real, just know there's still people out here that's trying to change the world outside of just saying, you know what, I just want some checks and win this and that. Because really, my platform is that's all it's about. That's why I keep repeating about childhood obesity, because at the end of the day, I'm not just gonna be here worrying about a check when I can change some lives and have my children remember me for something more than just a check, or if I shot some drugs in my ass.
love it, man. Love it. And you're saying that your mission is childhood obesity. I would say that my mission is also tailored to future generations. And personally, it goes back to what we were talking about
Mhm.
earlier. Is that my mission is actually to remind people to chase after your passion, and that your passion is the thing that will give you the highest level of joy in life. Now, the thing is, what I find most fascinating about this whole dynamic, and I've only really gotten to experience it just by committing to my own
Come
journey,
on.
with my narrative and story arc aiming to be the greatest of all time, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
I go back home with that. I'm originally from Jersey, right? I go
Mhm.
back home with that, and I meet up with my mother, who's supporting me and seeing the progress that I'm making on social media and the movement that's spreading and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
I run into my two brothers. One's 2 years older than me. The other's 20 years older than me,
Okay.
and they're both discouraging me of my ambition. They're both saying that I'm delusional, that it's not going to work, to have a plan B, to get a regular job, and make sure that your needs are provided for, because my ambition is going to end up failing, or something of that nature. So I take that, and the reason I'm mentioning it now is because these two individuals, my two brothers, they were passionate people at one point, and what I notice is that when the passion inside of an individual dies, for one, yes, it can be renewed, but for two, when it's not present, it is easier to kind of insert negativity into a person with passion, because the passion within themselves isn't present. And mhm.
Sorry to cut you off, but
No,
let
no,
me
no,
ask you,
yeah.
let me ask you this. Let me ask two questions. How did you feel when your loved ones were telling you, pretty much discouraging from your passion? How did you feel about that when they pretty much said you were delusional?
It felt strange. I was actually quite taken aback, because I was over on the East Coast visiting my family a year ago,
Mhm.
before I experienced virality and any kind of momentum or movement occurred. So they were pretty receptive to me. Hey, Shaun, how's it going? It's nice to see you. So a year removed from that, and within that time span, a lot of progress made within my whole, within building my platform and my brand.
Right.
And that was the time that they felt it was necessary to tell me that this was not going to work, even though it was working more now than the year when I was over there last time. So it did hurt. Yeah, it hurt. It definitely hurt.
And the reason why I asked that, now the second part to that question is, you said that they were passionate people at one time and it died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did it ever cross your mind, right? Especially the one that's much older than you, who was motivating them at the time to keep going and following your passion?
Well, that's the goddamn problem, is that we should not wait for external motivators to keep us going. And that's part of, like, I'm weaving that into my story. Is like, one of my favorite bodybuilders is Frank Zane.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched, he's got like, I don't know who made it, but it's like a 55-minute documentary on YouTube. And I watched the whole thing. And it gets to the end, and you hear Frank Zane's voice saying, "No one believed in me when I set out to be a bodybuilder. Even when I was at the highest level, the Joe Weider's, the Ben Weider's, my fellow competitors, the Arnolds, no one thought that I had what it took to become a Mr. Olympia because of his physique and his frame. Yet he was the only one who saw what he saw in the mirror and was like, no, this is dope. This is a great physique."
Now check this out. Think about it this way. When your brothers were telling you this, right? I truly believe they know you will be successful in whatever journey you're taking. But when I look at you, I'm your brother. When I'm looking at you, I wish I had that to silence out the noise. I wish I had that drive to put my passion into play. So when I see you instantly, I feel envious of that. But I'm not envious of your progress. It's just I'm wishing I was able to stay as strong as you're staying and block out the outside noise so I can pursue my passion. So when they see you, it's not that they don't believe in it. It's still that empty hole inside of them that they're still trying to heal from. So you being excited about your passion, it's only hurting me a lot more, which it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You can hurt somebody, whatever. It's up to them to deal with it, right? But coming from a standpoint of, like I said, with my sister, she's been struggling with obesity for a long time. So anytime I'm doing something positive or moving in this direction, it's not that she's upset when we don't even have the best relationship today. But it's like, I'm proud of you, but it still hurt me inside that I'm not strong enough or wasn't strong enough to actually follow through. So don't think of it as a negative thing of them saying, okay, you know what? Nah, I don't even believe in it. You biting off more than you chew. No, you're filling their void. You got to keep going because the moment you stop and listen, you're only repeating the cycle.
Right, right. Yeah, and honestly, like, the way I see it is, there are individuals like myself or like Frank Zane or like yourself, or even we could probably give it to Kobe Bryant with his Mamba mentality, where it's like, you don't like, we don't need someone to tell us that we can. We don't need
Come
it.
on.
But
Come on.
but that's a percentage of the population. It's a small percentage of the population that don't need external motivators in order to believe in themselves in order to achieve great things.
Come on.
So the mission that I'm looking to execute properly on is to remind people that their passion is what fuels them,
Come
and
on.
then to also instill, hey, let's be supportive of one another. Let's yes and one another. So if someone comes up to me, and I truly believe in this, if a person comes up to me and comes up with the craziest, wildest idea that's outside of my incredibly imaginative mind, they say that, hey, I want to build a dam in frickin' Alaska. And with this dam, it's going to, like, create some kind of hydro
Right.
energy that's going to create,
Right.
yeah, yada, yada, yada. I have no idea what the fuck they're saying. But am I going to tell them, oh, that's, you can't do it. You can't do it. Or am I going to fuel their dream? Am I going to ask them questions? Am I going to say, okay, so what's your plan? How do you intend on executing upon this? Who are you going to
You
meet?
know why you would say that versus the other way around? Because you're fueled by your own passion. So in
Exactly.
you won't sit up here and give them anything negative. Because in my mind, if I'm living off of passion and purpose, how can I give you something negative? It would never come out that way.
Yes,
So I
yes,
love it.
yes.
I
Yeah.
love it. But
Yeah.
you have to be fueled off of purpose and passion. You have to know where you're going. Because any outside, man, it's going to be so much outside noise. And I'll always keep saying that because that's what stops a lot of people's dreams and wants. It stopped mine at one point. When I lost my grandmother, yeah, I could have sat up there and like, oh man, my grandmother gone, right? And at some point I said I couldn't do it. But guess what? I said, you know what? That was the best, worst thing that could have happened to me because what was happening was I was not focused on my passion, helping people, getting out there, doing what God blessed me to do. So I'm gonna take her away from you so you can open your eyes and see your purpose. I put you here for a reason. You can talk, you can laugh, you can communicate, you can network. I put all these tools in your body. You think you're just gonna sit back and I'm just a bodybuilder. No, you're not affecting the world. You're not giving back. You're not changing nobody's life. You gotta man. Listen, I'm sorry, man. I'm not yelling at you guys, but let me tell you something. When you find your purpose, inspire other people because that's only gonna make you stronger. They're
And
gonna
it's gonna
push
make you more
behind
focused.
you. You
Yeah.
present your idea to somebody that you're inspiring already, they ready to go through a brick wall for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
person right here said, man, I support you. I support you. You probably don't even know this person, but they've been watching you. They've been being inspired by your content, right? Going harder in the gym because, I seen him. He said this, and that inspired me, right? It inspired me to reach out to you.
That's beautiful, man. You're
So
you're
in order
making
for
me
you to
tear
reach,
up.
man, you know how many people in this world that you can inspire, man, but you got to keep going. You got to, man, keep going.
You're, you're hitting me. You're hitting me right. You're right. Oh
Man,
man.
for real, man.
Yeah.
Like, I
Jesus.
don't know what else to say because it's so real that you know it, man. It don't matter if you in Dallas and I'm over here in Cape, man. It don't even matter, man. When you got purpose and I see it in you, man. That's why I just wanted to sit and have a conversation because at this point, I'm 18 days out. Usually I'm like, oh, I'm tired. But guess what? I'm so fueled off for just helping somebody. I'm not even thinking about prep. I'm the leanest I ever been meeting people and connecting with individuals that had I not been ambitious enough to say, you know what, this is not working for me. I'm gonna go and look for this and do this and connect with this person. Come on, man. I would have never been in this situation talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah. 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 Okay. All right. All right. All right. So let's
Let's get to
go
it. I'm
back.
sorry. Let's get to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's. Well, I want to back up for a second because I really liked when you stated that your purpose and your mission was to basically fight childhood obesity, right?
Yes, sir.
Um, and I am hugely in favor of that, and I would love to take a moment to properly strategize
Hmm.
as to how to do that. So I'll give you like my idea, and
I
let's
bounce
let's
off.
see.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So are you familiar with Captain Planet?
Mm, not really. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so
Throw it
so
at me, though.
yeah, yeah. Captain Planet was a kids cartoon. I don't know, 20 years old at this
Hmm.
point. It was when I was a kid, right?
I heard it
And
before. Yeah.
yeah, it was all about and very similar to like the Dare cartoons, like only you can, or like Smokey the Bear,
Hmm. Hmm.
like only you can prevent forest fires and stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
So with my idea is basically to turn natural bodybuilders into modern day heroes.
Mm.
We could even call them superheroes, modern day superheroes.
Hmm.
I want to scale up to, and like I'm sure you've already heard about the King of Naturals
Hmm.
tournament with the $1 million cash prize,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that's supposed to be televised in the format of a TV show called the Natty King.
Nice.
The reason I'm structuring everything like this is because my intention is for it to scale into an anime concept that's set 20 years in the future, where we have created a movement and we
Hmm.
are now at the point where we have a higher level of influence. These natural bodybuilders are the biggest deal so far as fitness, sports, something to aspire to, the pinnacle of human potential. And they're
Hmm.
still fighting against the powers that be that are looking to keep humanity negative, fat, uh, bred to just consume.
Hmm.
So it becomes like we could call it government, pharmaceuticals, big companies versus the natural bodybuilders who are like the heroes of this world, who are looking to instill passion and perseverance, determination, discipline. And like that's where I want to drive this storyline to.
Hmm.
This anime that's set in the future where you do have these natural bodybuilding heroes
Hmm.
changing the world with their positivity.
Man, let me tell you, that's such a beautiful thing. And what I do see, what I can get from that picturing, you have to get in front of people, right? Marketing, for one, is going to be everything when it comes down to getting in front of people and getting a message out. Because, yes, you could pick up your phone and say, you know what, let's type in obesity and the cases and all that other stuff, right? But where the lines get drawn is the fact that it ends up just talking without action. So to put actions behind your words, you have to throw these events. You have to come together. You have to bring that natty bodybuilding world together. Let's see you guys together on one stage. Let's see you guys actually together. Because you're here, he's here, and we're talking about it. But we're not in front of no event. We're not throwing no seminars. We're not doing any of these things. So the small steps are what matter. Fill up a 30 room, fill up 30 seats. Those 30 seats gonna fill up 100 seats. Then those 100 seats is gonna branch out. But you have to get in front of people, sending that message, talking to them, get physical. See, right now, this world is based on I'm gonna stay in the house. I'm not gonna be around anybody because of that's how it's set up. But if we get back to the old school ways where the parks was filled and we were throwing events in the parks and the kids was coming out having fun, giving them healthy things to eat and different things like that, promoting, giving them conversation, literature, passing out information to the parents, giving them a space where they can feel safe about talking about. You know what? I was just in a gym earlier or training. This guy came up to me. We were talking, cool cat. And he said, man, I'm inspired by you, man. And I said, why? He was like, man, I just see how you work, your work ethic. And it reminds me of, I think about my brother when I look at you. And I said, your brother? He said, yeah, I got a younger brother. I was at the pool with him the other day and we was like, all right, let's get ready for the pool. And I was like getting ready to undress him. And he said, no, 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 don't take it off. And I said, how old is he? He said, he's only 12. He said, why you want to take off your shirt? He said, because the other kid's going to call me fat. And that hit me hard. And I said, you know what? That's where the line has to get drawn at, right? He said, man, I didn't grow, we didn't grow with our father. We don't have, he wasn't getting the information. I'm doing my thing over here and he's at home with the mom. But we have to bridge that gap, dude. You know how many kids out there feel embarrassed just to walk outside and take off their shirt? You got to come to the forefront of things. We can't say, I want to do this, I want to do that. Man, let's go.
Yeah, yeah,
Daytime, just how we planned this out days before, whatever the case may be. I reached out to you. We made it happen. It's the same thing.
yeah.
But it got to be, the target has to be here. If it's obesity, if it's promoting the project, these have to be the guidelines of it. And that's all we talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah. No,
message.
yeah. And on that note, I do want you to know, I was talking with my training partner Valley Muscle, who was also on the interview that you
Right.
saw. Um, 2026, I really heavily want to prioritize public speaking at schools, like heavily. I really want to get the word out as early as possible that, for one, natural bodybuilding is a thing that exists, because when I was 17, I had no idea that it was even a concept. And then start promoting it,
Get
starting with the youth. It's
them
just,
out there, man, just how it is. And when when we used to do, back in elementary school, they used to have like a fun day or a field day or whatever the case may be. All that stuff just disappeared now. You get into those schools and you talk to those kids, especially in middle school, it's in elementary school, even high schools, in that transitioning period of life. We start talking to the kids because I always say this: adults, they have a choice to make. And sometimes the mind is made up. Sometimes we right here on the bubble to, yeah, I want to do it, maybe I don't. But when you're talking to the youth, they listen. They might not do it when you ask them to do it, but if you're in front of them and you're looking like a superhero and that's not something I'm used to
right,
seeing,
right.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
listen.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I noticed to be true is because when I walked in and I was cutting somebody hair because I'm a barber too. I was cutting one of my partners hair, and his kids were just acting wild outside. I mean, they were wild running. They came inside and they seen me. I didn't say anything. They just looked at me like, because they not used to seeing that. We creating these physiques and it's giving them something to look at. Wow, man, I want those kids. Man, I used to be 126 pounds in high school. I didn't have no muscle. I just had frame, flat chest, no muscle. So when I see that, I'm like, wow, how did you do that?
Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
guess what? You ain't got to worry about shooting nothing. I'm gonna show you how to do it with this nutrition and everything that you're not being told. This the information that I'm trying to give you. This should be a topic in school, not just this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring back nutrition in school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We missing the nutrition class. Where are the classes?
Yeah, and I don't want to dismiss the fact that this is a 100% it's an uphill battle
Oh, it will
because not only
always
do we have
be.
to not only do we have to properly educate the youth, we also have to educate the parents, and then
That's where it
also
starts.
we're not just fighting against ignorance. We're also fighting against there are systems in place that are intended to keep society fat, complacent, content, bred to
It's
or
called
conditioned.
balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's called balance. Because if we start playing around with balance of life, now you're talking on a whole nother level of, hey, this.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
comes with balance, right? You have the rich, you have the middle class, you have the poor. Same difference. In shape, almost out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that we can do is put our ideas into play and go and help as many people that want to listen. Everything that happens outside of the message, remember, you did, how can I say, we're not trying to say, hey, this is the way to go, this is how it's going to be, and we're going to change the world. No, we're just going to get the message out. Because if you keep quiet, you didn't change anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment I said, hey, you know what, let's go to this school right here. Man, we probably changed about 500 kids' mind that day. That's a win.
Yeah, and if we change one person's mind, I still see that as a
It's
win.
always a win when we can change a life, man. The world
Yes.
is so big. We only got two heads, but we can bring in people together.
Right.
And then all this, man, bodybuilding, man, and you start talking about changing lives with bodybuilding and stuff. Now we looking at bodybuilding different. It ain't just like, oh man, they just in shit, just eating, trying to flex for the summer. Nah, these guys really got some purpose. Oh, he's a story writer too. What he got going on? You know what? Let's chime in on that. I like this guy.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so
I know.
back to scalability.
Get
Back to
them wheels
scalability.
spinning.
Here's, yeah, you're on it. You're on it. So back to scalability. I do have an awareness of yes, it's like lack of education, providing, instilling purpose, passion, things of that nature. But I do like I like these conversations because it gives me an opportunity to be truthful and honest about where I want to take this. I
Yes,
want to
sir.
take this because like I'm age 33 now. I'm going to be bodybuilding. I'm going to like my career as a bodybuilder exists for at least 10
Yes,
years,
sir.
right? In
Yes,
my
sir.
40s, I'm moving over to entertainment specifically, telling the same story with the same
Woo.
intention of reminding people of their passions, only now we're playing on a bigger field within the world of Hollywood, right? We do that for another 10 years. And then my final goal is to get into politics and do the same exact fucking thing,
Listen,
you know?
it's almost like cooking eggs in the morning. Man, I done damn put a shell in these eggs. I done cracked it. I know it's a shell in here. It's crunchy. Next time I'm gonna be watching it. Oh man, I still got a shell in there. Cause you're practicing, man.
Yes, yes,
You're fine tuning
yes.
the same message. It
Yes.
only gets better with age, with wisdom. You see that? You see the elephant? The wisdom, man.
Yeah.
Your mission, it's already there. You already painted it in your mind. It's already placed there, right? But life events,
Mm,
experiences, is
mm.
what shapes it to become better. That's it. It's nothing what you're doing is wrong, and it would never be wrong. Why? Because it's something you believe in. But in order to get it where it needs to go, those building blocks, those steps, you can't miss a step. No matter how bad we want to put $1 million in a Natty King hand, or how bad we want to affect her and help every kid and obese, we have to get to the next
Wow.
step first.
Wow. Damn. Oh my God. You're killing it, bro. Shit.
And man, hey, listen, man, it's just real. When it's real, you can feel that.
Yeah. Yeah. I might even quote that.
Hey, whatever it takes, man, because I really feel like you have something special and you believe in it And all you need is the right people around you, the right pieces, man, to help you push it, man. And it doesn't matter if they hear you today or tomorrow, they will hear you. They will. And somebody, that one person out of the millions of people that you're going to talk to, because you're going to reach millions, because that's your goal. You just said 2 decades of work. You think you're not going to touch a million people? Somebody's going to say, you know what? I've been watching this guy since he was talking about it from scratch. And now look at him. He got it on the movies. He a director. Look, like it's so much potential in what you're talking about. And I love it because it's going to help. It's going to help open the eyes of people that are just so closed-minded on this tangible topic. It doesn't even matter. Let's change the world, man, in our own type of way.
Yes, yes, dude. Oh man, I want to talk to more people like you. You know.
You will. Oh, you will. You will, because now your eye is open
Yeah,
and your ears are
yeah,
open.
yeah,
And if it ain't hitting me the same, I need to get in a room where it hit me the same, where I could feel it,
yeah,
or I'm just
yeah.
wasting time.
Mm, mm, mm.
And we ain't got that to
No,
waste.
no. We got a lot to do. We got a lot to
Man,
do.
I really appreciate this, man. I listen. I really appreciate this opportunity. This has been great, dude. Like it's
Yeah,
been refreshing.
we should do it again.
And listen, and I think you know what? We're gonna talk about each other's schedule, man. We're gonna do it in person, man.
Let's do it.
We're gonna line up in person. And we're
Yes.
gonna get a few people around. By that time, I probably should have the second book ready, and then you should have a little bit more literature on what you're trying to do. And we're gonna get in a room with people that you know that we can talk to. Because
Absolutely.
I think the next time you speak, you should speak in front of others because you speak well, and I can learn a lot about how you're speaking. And trust me, I'm like a sponge. It's almost like I'm like them parrots that like to repeat stuff.
Dude, I think you're a great speaker.
I
Honestly, you speak
just
so
keep it
passionate.
real. I just speak how from here.
Yeah.
I speak from
It's
here, and I
effective.
think it gets delivered a different type of way. But the way I speak, you can really feel the way I speak because it's coming from pain. I had a lot of loss, dude. I had a lot of loss in life. I was lost, but guess what? Bodybuilding is helping me find that way. It's keeping me structured. The meals, the training, even when, on days that it's hard. Cardio, man, I done cried on there, man. I done poured out. I'm healing through bodybuilding. So meeting you guys and meeting people within this bodybuilding industry, man, we have so much power because we can do things that people can't do. We are superheroes. We are superheroes because if I can't walk outside and see somebody that look like me and I'm seeing like 10, 20, 100 and oh, finally, there you go. I'm going to the gym. Oh, there they go. But then the masses, you are a superhero because only superheroes, you know the superheroes and you know the mass. I go put on a costume, you put on a costume, you think we're not going to look like a superhero compared to somebody that put it on and just falling off them? This
Damn.
shit going to be fitted.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to want it. You got to want it a little bit more. I know you
Yeah.
pushing, but
Yeah.
I need you to push a little bit more.
I'm seeing both you and I at a school, and I'm giving the mic to you. Honestly.
Listen, man, I'm ready for whatever you're ready for. But one thing I need you to do, I need you to turn into that superhero mode. It ain't no more cheeseburgers right now. You need to be your best in order to deliver your best message. Because if you're talking to me about $1 million and you want to be the Natty King, you want to be all this stuff like that, you have to commit. I had to commit, bro. My face, my cheekbones about to show, man. It's sacrifice.
Amen.
So if you got to sacrifice for the next 10 or 20 years, so be it. But you need to be in your best shape, your best look, so I can look at you and I can take you serious.
Damn. Heard. Heard.
It ain't no getting ready for no shit. You already got the mass. You should be lean, cut up. You already got shoulders. You already got everything you need. Cut
Heard.
up, get
Heard.
cut, get ripped, and then deliver your message. They're going to be like, well, damn.
All right. Let me hit the gym. Let me hit the gym.
Thank you, my man.
This was
Hey, I
amazing.
appreciate you. We're going to chop it up
I
more,
got
man.
I got tears in my eyes, bro.
No, it's real. Because
Yeah.
how you gonna deliver your message if you not being your best self?
Yeah. No. No. This was this. Yeah. You already get it. You get it.
I
So
get it. We good.
yeah.
We good, baby. We good. We good. Keep going.
All
That's what I
right.
want you to do. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again for this opportunity, man.
Thank you. Thank you. We will keep in touch.
We will.
All
Thank you,
right.
brother.
I'll
Have a good
talk
one.
to you. All right,
All
bro.
right.